Have you ever wondered if you're secretly living in someone else's mind? Psychology shows us that when a person can't stop thinking about you, it slips out in ways they don't even notice. In their words, in their habits, even in the way they show up online. In fact, new research on human connection reveals that our brains leave tiny clues when someone is mentally preoccupied with another person. It could be the way they text you out of nowhere. Mirror your gestures without realizing, or even how your mood suddenly lifts when they're near. In this video, I'll share 7 deep psychology-backed signs that you're always on their mind, and more importantly, what each sign really means for you. By the end, you'll see the hidden patterns that most people overlook and maybe discover that you've been in their heart all along. Sign 1: Unexpected thoughtful contact. Let's start with one of the clearest signs. Unexpected thoughtful contact. I'm not talking about a quick hey or a random emoji. I mean the kind of message that comes out of nowhere but feels perfectly timed, like they remembered something only you told them, or they reached out just when you were on their mind. Psychologists call this initiating behavior, and studies show it's closely tied to emotional closeness. In fact, recent research on texting patterns found that when someone often reaches out first, especially after a quiet period, it's usually because they've been thinking about that person and felt the need to connect. Think about it. We all have busy lives, and our attention is one of the most valuable things we can give. So, when someone uses that energy to reach out to you unexpectedly, it's not random. It's a clue that you're living in their thoughts, and maybe even in their heart. Sign 2: Persistent targeted social presence. Another powerful sign is their digital trail. What I like to call persistent targeted social presence. Maybe they always seem to be the first to like your posts, or they drop a comment that shows they're really paying attention. Sometimes it's even subtler, like watching your stories within minutes of you posting over and over again. Recent studies on social media behavior show that when someone consistently engages with a specific person online, it's rarely by accident. Our brains are wired to seek connection with the people who occupy our thoughts. This digital attention is a way of saying, I'm here. I see you. And you matter to me, even if they never put it into words. And here's the deeper part. Researchers found that people who are emotionally invested in someone tend to over-prioritize their online presence, sometimes without realizing it. They're not doing it for everyone. They're doing it for you. So, if their presence keeps showing up around your digital world, it's not just about scrolling habits. It's a silent sign that your name is never far from their mind. Sign 3: Your mood shifts when they're active. Have you ever noticed your mood change the moment they text, call, or even just show up online? That's not random. It's what psychologists call emotional contagion. Recent research shows that our emotions sync more easily with people we feel deeply connected to. If someone can't stop thinking about you, that invisible bond works both ways. You may feel lighter, more energized, or strangely calm when they reach out, even before a word is exchanged. It's almost as if their presence, physical or digital, sends a signal that your brain immediately responds to. And the fact that you notice this shift is powerful. It means the connection is not one-sided. Their thoughts about you ripple into your emotional world, leaving traces you can actually feel. Sign 4: You keep bumping into them. Public run-ins. Another sign that you're always on someone's mind is when you keep bumping into them at the cafe, at the gym, or even in places you never expected. Sure, coincidences happen, but repeated run-ins often aren't pure chance. Psychologists studying attraction call this proximity seeking. When we think about someone, often we naturally look for ways to be closer to them, even if it's subtle. They might change their routine, adjust their timing, or simply gravitate toward places where they know there's a chance of seeing you. Recent behavioral studies show that people are far more likely to accidentally cross paths with someone they're preoccupied with than with casual acquaintances. Why? Because thought patterns influence behavior. Where our mind goes, our body tends to follow. So if these public run-ins keep happening, ask yourself, is it fate, or is it them finding small ways to stay connected without having to say it out loud? Sign 5, mutual friend mentions and small rumors. Pay attention to the whispers that come through your mutual friends. If someone you care about keeps appearing in conversations, subtly, casually, or unexpectedly, it could be a sign they are thinking about you. Psychologists explain this as social probing. When someone is mentally preoccupied with another person, they often use mutual connections to gather small pieces of information without asking directly. It's like sending tiny feelers through the social network to stay in the loop. Recent studies in social behavior suggest that people who are emotionally invested in someone will often trigger these mentions intentionally or unconsciously. They want to know how you're doing, what you're up to, or simply stay present in your life through shared friends. So, next time a friend keeps bringing them up in conversation, notice the pattern. It's not gossip. It could be their way of keeping a thread between you alive, even when you're apart. Sign 6, the slip of the tongue. Have you ever noticed them accidentally saying your name in the wrong conversation or slipping your name when they mean to refer to someone else? That's more than just a simple mistake. It's your presence literally on their mind. Cognitive scientists explain this with the concept of name interference. When someone thinks about you frequently, your name is stored strongly in their brain's social category. So when they speak quickly or are distracted, your name can pop out instead of another. Recent research shows that these slips happen most often between people who share an emotional or social connection. It's the brain's way of showing you're significant enough to sneak into everyday thoughts and conversations. So if they keep dropping your name by accident, it's not random. It's a subtle signal that you occupy mental space and maybe even a little piece of their heart. Sign 7, mirror behavior and small imitations. The last sign is subtle but powerful. Mirror behavior and small imitations. Have you noticed them picking up your phrases, copying your gestures, or suddenly liking the same music or shows you do? This isn't coincidence. It's a natural human response called mirroring. Neuroscience research shows that when someone thinks about you, often their brain unconsciously mirrors your actions, speech patterns, and even your energy. It's a way for the mind to connect, understand, and feel closer to someone without needing words. The more they mirror you, the more attention they're paying. Every joke they repeat, every habit they mimic is your influence showing up in their behavior. It's an unspoken way of saying, I notice you. I'm tuned in and you matter to me. So, if you catch them copying even small things, it's not just admiration. It's evidence that you're present in their mind in a deep, consistent way. So, there you have it. 7 deep signs that someone is constantly thinking about you. From unexpected messages to subtle social attention to the tiniest mirror gestures, each sign alone can be a coincidence. But when you notice several together, it's a strong clue that you truly occupy their thoughts. Remember, these signs are about understanding patterns, not assuming intentions. The most reliable way to know for sure is always honest communication. But recognizing these signs can help you see the hidden connections that might otherwise go unnoticed. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these signs have you noticed in someone? Drop your experience in the comments below. Your story might help someone else spot the same hidden signals. And if you want a simple psychology-backed way to respond when you notice these signs, stay tuned for my next video. I'll show 3 exact lines that feel natural, confident, and emotionally engaging. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it.